how to improve visibility and get more inquiries and orders on GlobalLinker? That is a question that we get quite often. And in today's video, I'm going to provide you suggestions and recommendations on how you can actually achieve that. So without spending any more of your valuable time, let's begin. Let's get started. Hi, my name is Adnan. I'm Director SME E-commerce Growth at GlobalLinker. And in this video, I'm going to share with you a few suggestions that will help you improve your visibility, and you will be able to achieve more inquiries and orders on GlobalLinker. Chapter 1, Product Optimization. Now, this is one of the most crucial element, but often overlooked because of ignorance or because of lack of awareness. But this is where, if I have to put it very simply, if a potential buyer is not able to find you, how will they do business with you? Because in today's day and age, the discovery happens through the product, not through the business, right? So if a buyer is looking for a particular product, you happen to have that product, but you haven't listed it or you haven't updated the information properly, in that case, you are not going to get that buyer, or that buyer is not going to find you, right? So visibility will get compromised if your product information is not optimized. So this is where it is extremely important for you to optimize the product information. Now we have understood the importance of the product optimization. Let's understand how are you going to optimize the product. A prerequisite or a activity that you should do before you get started with product optimization is called keyword research. And I hardly see businesses or individuals doing that. They assume that that is something which has to be done by the SEO or by the technology themselves. No, this is your business and you have to do that. And that is where you can use Google's tool Keyword Planner, which is a Google's free tool, or you can use AI and it can do the keyword research for you fairly effectively and fairly quickly. So you should do that research. You should understand what are the terms or what are the words which are being used by your buyers or potential buyers, and you should include those keywords, those phrases into the product content. If you're not doing that, that's where you're losing out on the visibility game, right? So that is the prerequisite or something that you have to do before you get started. All right. Now, once you have done that, the elements or the pieces of information that you update in the product are the product title, which you can see on your screen. This is the product title. And then we have the summary description. And then you have the long description. And then you have the meta information, which consists of meta title, meta description, and meta keyword. Title and description are important. Meta title and description. Keyword is something that you can consider optimizing. It is not given any weightage by the search engines when it comes to ranking. Now, the 5 pieces of information that you have to optimize, or 5 islands of opportunities which are there for you to work on and increase your chances, are the product title, summary description, long description, meta title, and description. That is something that we have understood. Now, how are you going to optimize it? So the easiest and the simplest way to optimize the product content is using the embedded AI, which is here. So this is where you can click on Get AI Suggestions, and that is where you will be able to use the embedded AI, which is there on the seller panel, to optimize the content. And the content which will get optimized will also be as per the industry best practice. So the title, the description, the long description, all that will get created as per the industry best practices. So it will be an optimized content, plus it will be as per the industry best practice. So you'll be able to achieve both the objectives fairly quickly and fairly easily. So this is something that you should be doing to optimize the product content. Now I'll quickly walk you through the best practices which are there. So the best practice for the product title is it should be descriptive. So it should not be like 1 word, 2 word. It should be a descriptive product title, which should consist of the product's name, the keywords, and features or specifications of the product, so that just looking at the product title, a customer is able to understand or form a level of opinion or understanding about the product. And in addition to that, the search will also get benefited because it is a descriptive product title which has the relevant keywords, specifications, details, etc. All right. So that is the best practice with regards to the product title. Coming to the summary description, this is where again I have seen business adding either too little or either too much in the summary description. So here the best practice is it should have a paragraph, one paragraph, not more than 4 sentences long. So it should not be more than 4 sentences, and followed by bullet points consisting or about specifications, features, etc. So that just glancing at it, this is where we don't have to give a essay reading assignment to the potential buyer. They have to just glance at it or spend few seconds there, and they should be able to understand about the product or form a little bit of understanding about the product. So that is the summary description, and that's why it is called summary description. Now, moving ahead, we have long description. This is the place where you have to expand or explain the product in detail. So this is where you can go at length. The minimum recommended length is 70 words, and you can go as much as 200 words. So that is something that you can use. Again, you should avoid long paragraph because they are difficult to read and they are something which can detract or prevent a potential buyer from going through it because it will look like too much, right? So it should not be very, very long paragraph, but you can consider adding more details, even schematics or images into it, or a video. If you have a video, you have an option to add a video as well. So you can add all that information so that the potential buyer is who is interested in understanding of the product, they have all the required information and they can make that decision. Now, going down below, this is where we have the meta title and description. So meta title, the length should be around 60 characters. This is where it is characters, not words. And the meta description is again 150 to 160 characters. And this is where again you have to include the relevant keywords and relevant terms so that the search gets optimized. And the best way to create meta title and description is to use AI tools. You can use the embedded AI tools, or you can use ChatGPT or Gemini as well, and you'll be able to create the meta title and description fairly quickly, fairly easily. So this is something that you have to work on to optimize the product content. Now, there's one more thing that I would want to suggest as part of product optimization, and that is the correct category mapping. So this is where you are mapping your product to the GlobalLinker marketplace. Now, if the product is not mapped to the right category, that is where your chances will again go down, because if you're placing oranges in edible oil category, no one comes to an edible oil category to buy oranges, right? So your chances of getting leads or visibility or orders will be negligible, right? So it is extremely important that you are also mapping or placing your product in the right place. So that's why ensure that the product is mapped correctly. In case you are not sure which category your product should be mapped to, you can reach out to our help desk and we'll be more than happy to guide you. Otherwise, it is very simple. You can just start typing the product name. This is where we have added or embedded AI. Using AI, it automatically suggests. So let me try to show you that. So for example, we have a shirt. So the moment we will start typing the name or based on a product title, it automatically picks it up. The AI automatically picks it up, but we can refine it very, very easily. So this is also one thing that you should ensure that it is properly mapped so that your product is appearing at the right place and you are getting the right visibility, which will lead to more inquiries and order. All right. So that is all in chapter 1. Let's move to chapter 2. Chapter 2 is about profile optimization. Now, any business, if they are wanting to do business with you, any potential buyer, if they're wanting to do business with you and they have liked your product, the very next thing that they would do is to try to understand about you. And that's where they will certainly review your profile. Now, if you have fantastic product, you have optimized the product, but you haven't updated your profile, that's where it will have a negative impact. And despite the fact that you are getting views on your product, you will not get inquiries or orders. So for example, I come to GlobalLinker and that's where I like this product. Now, before moving ahead, I would certainly want to understand about this particular business. So that's where I can review their profile. So this is where I can visit their company profile and I can see that. Now, had this profile not been updated, that's where I will have a very negative impression about the business, but this is where you can see all the information is updated. So this is where I have a positive information. I can see their products, etc. So all the information is available. Now I can move ahead to send them an inquiry or place an order, depending on the what options they have provided. So that's where it is crucial to update your profile. Now, how are you going to update the profile? So for that, you have to just log into your account, and this is where on the top you'll see your name, initials, and then click on edit, which will bring you to the edit screen. This is the edit screen that you're seeing on your screen, and it starts with your details. So this is where the very first thing that you should be doing is uploading your profile picture. A lot of businesses I've seen don't do that, but it adds credibility and a lot of trust factor, because this is where you have the human face, or there is some individual that you're getting associated with. So please do add that, and adding that is very simple. You can click on profile picture, and once you have done that, then click on edit. This is where you can define or add little information about yourself as well. What is the role that you're playing in your organization? And again, if you're a little concerned that my English is not that good or how good I'll be able to write, right? So that's where use AI and it will draft a very nice and crisp role description for you, which you can use here. And once you have done that, that's where you can move ahead to update the company details. This is a demonstration account, so that's why you are seeing it is entirely empty, but it will help you understand like how it will actually look if you are not updating it. So this is where you have to upload your logo, which you can upload by clicking on it. The next very important thing that you should do if you haven't done that, that is verifying your company. So you can click on request verification, or you can click on verified with GST, and that is where you should verify your company, because if you're not verifying it, it will not have the trust mark and you will not be able to list your products on GlobalLinker marketplace. So you must do that. Now, once you have uploaded the logo, this is where you should click on edit. This is where you should also select a top banner, or you upload your own banner. Dimensions are mentioned here. So once you have done that, when you have done the logo and banner upload, that is where you should proceed ahead to add details here. So this is where you have to click on edit, and you have to add your tagline if you have a tagline, and then what is the legal entity type, what is the size of your organization, which industry do you belong, what is the year of incorporation, what is the turnover, and what type is the nature of the business, and any other thing. And you should also add a brand description or a company description, a brief about your organization. You should add that. Once you have done that, then you should scroll down below. This is where you will see a option to add license certificate. You should do that. And this is where you will also see a section for adding your business requirements. So what all items do you procure? You should also add that. God knows you may be able to find a fantastic supplier on the GlobalLinker itself. Lastly, you have to add your preferences. This is where you have to specify, and this is your personal preferences, not your organizational ones. So what is your role in the company? When is the start date and date of birth, gender, and what are the areas of interest that you have? So specify that. So this is how you have to update your profile. Now, once it is updated, it will give a more professional view to your organization, as well as improve the credibility and trust in the eyes of potential buyers. So this is all about profile optimization. Let's move on to chapter 3. Chapter 3 is about participation. And when I say participation, I don't mean a specific activity-based participation. Overall participation is something that you should be focusing on if you want to get the maximum benefits from the platform. When it comes to participation, why it is important? Because there are scenarios, or there have been instances where we have seen that the sellers had phenomenal product and there was a buyer interest as well, but because they were not active on the platform, they missed on the opportunity, and other were able to capitalize on the opportunity. So that's where it is important that you are actively participating on the platform. Now, what all are the activities that you should consider or be slightly more focused on? The first one is actively logging in to your seller panel or seller control center or control screen, whatever term you would want to call it. So this is the seller panel or the control panel. So you have to actively log into it, check all the notifications that you have received. If you are accepting orders on your online store on GlobalLinker, then check the order section and actively check on the GlobalLinker marketplace panel for ensuring that all your products are listed, we are getting views, and if any inquiries are received, you can respond, or if there's a buyer message that you have received, so you can respond to those. So that's where just check on these. So this is something that you have to do on the seller panel. Now on your profile, when you log in and once you have done that check, then you should come back here, and this is where you'll see RFQs. So this is where if you click on view all, you'll be navigated to all the RFQs, or you'll be navigated to a page where you can see all the RFQs. Now here you are required, or you should be going through the RFQs and trying to see if there's an RFQ that is of interest to you. Now you can do that filtration very easily. You can use the search, or you can use the filters which are there on the top. So using that, you can very quickly, spending 2-3 minutes, you'll be able to identify if there's an RFQ that is of interest to you, and if it is of interest to you, or if there's an RFQ that is of interest to you, you can consider responding to that. So this is where you're accidentally not missing out on opportunities that are relevant for you. So now what is the next thing that you should be doing? So if you see here, there are various events and webinars that we conduct to provide knowledge to our participants. So you should review which all webinars or events are happening. And if there's a webinar or event which is of interest to you, you should consider participating. So that's where you'll be able to grasp or acquire new knowledge. So that is the next thing. Now, if you go to the resources section, that's where you'll see knowledge, and that's where there are articles. So we constantly create knowledge series articles and SME inspiration stories. So you should review these stories, and that's where again you'll be able to acquire new knowledge. And if you are a subject matter expert, you are more than welcome to contribute articles yourself as well. Our content team will curate it, and if it is good, it will be published as well. So that's the next thing that you should consider doing. And the last thing where I would recommend that you should be participating is the section here. This is where the various businesses post about their business or opportunities or requirement. So you should also actively review this, and you may be able to find a buyer or supplier through this section as well. So this is chapter 3, which is about participation. And if you focus on product optimization, profile optimization, and active participation, you will be able to get better visibility and more orders and inquiries on GlobalLinker.